out in Central Square today at the Bennett shop. Of course, this is where Jordy Bennett is. This car here might look familiar for some of you guys who've been out there for a while. Bob Bennett is making a comeback, hoping to be there at Fulton Speedway this week. What we're doing now, and we're going to have Jordy walk us through this because according to Bob, Jord is the setup man. We are on the scales. So what do we think? What is the purpose of this, and what are we looking to find out by putting it on the individual pads?
It's just a baseline setup to get started. So we basically follow your standard Bicknell or Troyer, from Dad's case, baseline to get us to the track and adjust the little things here that the driver's liking and see what happens.
All right, so let's go over now. Let's look at the numbers. We'll explain what you're looking at. And there's a couple different companies that make these. They're all pretty much the same, really, when you get right down to it. And these are the numbers that we're looking at. We'll zoom right in so we can see a little reflection. And there we go. All right, so let's start at the top. We got four numbers, 441, 707, 633, and the one you can't see at the top is 337. Is that the weight on each corner, basically?
Yeah, so that's going to be basically your wedge, but in the back here. So you're going to look at these numbers to figure out your wedge. You look at these numbers for your cross weight, and then obviously the left side for your left side percent.
Okay, go back a little bit. Wedge is 707, 633. So we've got 74 pounds of wedge in the car.
4 pounds, yep.
And which ones are the cross weight?
So the cross weight, which you can also see down here, is your left front, right rear. And that percentage there is equivalent to these when you do the math.
Oh, so the cross weight is the left front and the right rear. Okay, I always got confused on that. So now here's what we're looking at here. Left side weight, we've got the actual weight and the percentage, 54.2. When we first started, we were, 51, I think, the first time we set it down?
Yeah, so my mistake. Everybody's, you really got to make sure that these are zeroed out. If you have a scale that's off or did not zero out, you get the wrong weights on there. So it makes it a little frustrating when you're looking at it and the numbers are that far off. But when you're that far off, just make sure you double check your scales.
Okay. So we just turned it off and hit the zero button there, and that got it right. And then you took it off the scales and made sure every number was zero, basically, right?
Yep. And then when we get it back on, we were, I believe, 54.5. So we just took a little bit of left side out of it to 54.2.
Mm-hmm.
And we just did that by moving the front and rear end a little bit.
You move the rear end in and out on the left rear. What does that do?
That will change your percentages. So if you want to have more left side percentage, you would suck that in towards the frame as well as the front. You could do the same. Generally, I try to do it equally. A little bit in the front, a little bit in the rear. So it's not dog tracking to say.
Gotcha. Rear 63.2. Is that about right?
Yeah, we only have a couple gallons of fuel in it. So we're going to probably add a little bit of ballast. We'd like to come off the racetrack around 64.
Okay.
So I would say we're going to have probably 20 pounds of ballast back there.
Left rear, right, left, that's your cross weight, right? 50.7, is that what I'm looking at?
Yeah, and that number's different for everybody. If you go
the
by
preference, right?
Yeah, if you go to the basic Bicknell or Troyer setup, that number's going to be different. And then once you start adjusting for your left side percentage and your cross weight and your wedge, those numbers change. So you generally just want to figure out something that works good for you and not get too far off the baseline when you bring it back to the scales every week.
And with 74 as our number for wedge, you said that's going to make it, loose on the entrance or something?
Again, that's a driver preference, but there's multiple things that can happen with it, but generally it will free you up a little bit on entry, but let you pick the throttle up sooner from the apex out. So some people like to run a lot of wedge, some people don't. It's just really what they like.
Okay, and the right side percentage, 45.8. Is that about what we're looking at there?
Honestly, I don't even
look. It's just there as a number.
Yep.
Okay. Any tips? Like you said, if you think something funky is going on, make sure to take it off the pads and hit that zero when you start all over again. Basically,
yeah,
right?
It all starts here. This is a good baseline. This is the numbers that we like, and then we basically fine-tune with shocks and springs.
Okay.
Well, we found that this number worked for us. We'll see if it works for Dad. He's been out of it maybe 12 years or so. Yeah. So this is what we're going to go out with, and hopefully it works for you.
Hopefully you guys learned something here. Make sure to subscribe, turn on the notifications, leave a comment. If you have a question or something, put it right here. I'll get with Jordy. We'll do a follow-up if we have to. Thanks for doing this, man. I appreciate it.
No problem.